Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about one of the two inevitable things in life. Inevitable things in life. Taxes or death? Guess which one is more interesting? Trust me, I would rather choose death. But no, I've been doing taxes all day. I have such a headache. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, first thing, I'll be sitting down with my accountant and going through everything I have done in 2018. This is the reality every single creative entrepreneur is facing in Europe. If you want to become a creative entrepreneur in Europe, or if you want to work with one closely, or if you want to do business with someone in Europe, this is the reality we're facing. It's really interesting for you to know. I mean, not really interesting in a way that is like, oh, how interesting. No, it is very informative. It is very important that you know about these things before becoming a creative entrepreneur, so you know at least what you'll be dealing with. I'm not a licensed accountant. I have done this for the past 6 years already, and I know a little bit about here and there, and perhaps I will just give you an overview of the realities and how things are done here, and perhaps it will help you. I'll just quickly go through more or less what I will declare. There are two parts that everybody could declare: the passive income and active income. So passive income is the part that you earn without working actively. Of course, that's why it's called passive income. For example, from property rentals, intellectual property, royalties, and financial market. Like if you invest in stock market, or if you save a lot of money in the bank and they give you generous interest rates. And this money is also your passive income, and you have to declare every year. Like what I do is every year in May, I declare last year's income from the first day of the year to the last day of the year. And in my case, I declare property rentals. Like I run Airbnb, I also rent privately with contracts. I just get all these bills and contracts and everything, put them together in a folder. This is my income, and after that I look at all the costs. For example, the bed linens, water, electricity, utility bills, internet bills, security company, cleaning company, whatnot. Like everything that has to do with maintaining this property, I will put them in another folder. They have to issue a bill to me with my name, with the direction of the property, with my tax number. If any information is missing or incorrect, it's not deductible. And then they will calculate how many days that I have rented this property, and then see what's the percentage, and then deduct proportionally to the percentage. Because if I rent only one day, I can't deduct all the bills like to that day. It has to be proportional. And this, my accountant will take care of this. Thank goodness, because otherwise my head will literally explode. Apart from my passive income, I have my active income, and the active income part is even more complicated. So what I pay is I pay a fixed fee to have my active income license as a freelancer. If you don't have this, you are not allowed to operate in Europe. If you are a citizen in Europe, then you are allowed to receive some small pocket money, up to, if I'm not wrong, around 5,000 euros a year, that you can have it without having a license. Because, for example, during the year you sold 2 paintings for 4,000 euros. If you receive such a tiny amount, you don't have to declare it as an independent freelancer. But if you receive anything more than that, you will definitely need to pay your license every month. I pay currently around 300 euros every single month, plus 70 euro for my accountant every single month again, plus whatever that needed to be done. For example, if I need to hire someone, then I need to pay the social security of this person. If I need a license for my office to operate, to welcome people coming to my office, I need also formalities for that. It's a lot of paperwork, but the minimum that you must pay is your own social security, which is your license, which is around 300 euro, depending how old you are. If you're younger, you pay less. If you're older, you pay more. And your accountant. This is the basic costs operating as a freelance entrepreneur in Europe. in Spain. I know that in other countries perhaps you pay less, like in the UK you pay less, but in the continental Europe this is pretty much you will have to pay. After that, if you have clients, you have to pay 21% VAT that you charge your clients, and then you pay every 3 months to the states. You are just the collector of this VAT, the value added tax. You take from your client, you give it away, and you don't keep anything. And after that, you will have to pay personal income taxes on top of what you already have been paying. Depending on how much you make and depending where you are in Spain, you pay from 19% to 45%. I know it can be quite high. That is apart from your license fee, which is €300, apart from your VAT fee, which you charge on behalf of the state to your customers. This is still on top, and I know it can be quite stressful. If you don't make a lot, you still have to pay a lot, and if you make too much, you still have to pay a lot. And finally, it might not make any sense for you to declare as a freelancer at the beginning of your career. Perhaps you're not sure if you will make money or not. What you can do is you just paint, and in December you sell all the painting online, boom. But my accountant would not suggest that. She's very correct and very strict. And she would say, oh, if you generate money by painting, although you don't sell, you should still pay for that €300. But I know it's not realistic for most of the artists. So my personal suggestion, I'm not liable, I'm not an accountant, but my personal suggestion is to work, and then, sell, and then work, and then sell. So you only pay the months which you actually make money by selling your art, which is reasonable. The good thing is, if you're selling ebooks or if you're receiving a lot of passive income as an artist, you don't need to pay for the €300 every single month. You only pay when you are active. So a good strategy would be at the beginning you would focus on your passive income. When you build a really solid passive income, and then you work actively so you can start paying for the license, and you actually have some business costs which is fixed, like your office, like your accountant. So at least you will have some basic coverage, so you don't really run underwater and you'll be really stressed. So this is my personal advice. Of course, if you go to a CPA, they would suggest you according to your country, your region, according to your case, and they can be a little bit strict, especially if they don't know the realities of fine art professionals, of creative professionals. They might suggest something that is really unrealistic, and that would end up costing you a lot of money and doesn't make sense. So you make sure that you look around other artists, what they are doing, and consult your CPA, so you have a picture from the both sides, the reality and the law. So how you should operate, you can kind of walk in the fine lines. Not breaking the law, but at least being able to play within the legal range, like what my artist friends are doing. I know a lot of artists don't pay their taxes and they don't declare their income, and because they earn so little. But again, if you don't pay your social security, you cannot borrow from the bank, you will not be able to get a loan, right? And you cannot have some coverage if you fall sick. If you want to have a pension, then you don't have any coverage. So still, it's a good idea to pay for social security, to have some kind of coverage, and then have a really good passive income stream, and you combine both, and you can live a good lifestyle working as an artist and have some kind of safety and luxury of taking some days off in the future. So I still have to go back working on my accounting papers, and this is my dinner. I know it has palm oil, it's not the most healthy thing, but I will have to do that. Meanwhile, today it's just the exception. I only do it once a year, so I'm gonna go out. Thank you very much for listening to this, and if you have any questions, drop me a comment below and I will perhaps consult my accountant and then give you a more rounded answer. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.